Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the new update that has come to Warframe. More specifically, I wanted to comment on the new game mode added called the Sanctuary Onslaught. Warframe often receives a lot of criticism for the lack of content offered to veteran players. Oftentimes, players take matters into their own hands and create their own challenges. One of the ways they do this is by staying in survival missions for a very long time, so the enemies scale to a point where they pose a significant threat. The problem with this activity is the time investment required to make it to those scaled up enemies. It doesn't respect one's time, and there is no material reward for dedicating this amount of time other than bragging rights. This is where the new Sanctuary Onslaught comes in. Sanctuary Onslaught is an arcade-style game mode that scores the player on how effectively they can kill hordes of enemies. You are placed in random maps, or maps that are predetermined if you're playing the Elite mode, that take a small slice of levels throughout the game. The enemies they put you up against also play by these same rules. On each stage, you are given a short amount of time to hunt down as many of these enemies as you can. Once the timer counts down to 0, you are moved on to the next stage, where you repeat the task, but with harder enemies. The mission ends when you fail to keep up with the ever-increasing demand to kill these enemies quick enough, or, at current, when the game crashes. More on that later. The rewards you receive in the Onslaught includes parts for the newly released Frame, Void Relics, Captura Scenes, and new mods that, rather than offering a stat boost, instead give your weapons quirky little effects. I can see many veteran players finding value in the rewards offered here, many of which I expect will turn into new platinum farms, seeing as most items on offer are tradable. One little side note to mention is Sanctuary Onslaught is also going to be a good way to farm focus. You can cap out pretty quick. As someone who really loves dabbling in the Captura, I find the scenes appealing, and getting duplicates might make for some nice plat, and for those who play the Elite mode will find relics are fully upgraded. So following up a session of the Sanctuary Onslaught with some relic farming could be very lucrative. I am also interested in seeing how valuable the new mods become. Despite the fact that they offer zero statistical benefit, I imagine they will be valued solely based on their unique aesthetic. Everyone knows Fashion Frame is the true endgame. But for those who are more serious about the endgame content and are wondering if this is finally the answer to their prayers, I think it will depend on what kind of endgame you're looking for. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, Sanctuary Onslaught is an arcade-style game mode, and it's meant for players who spent their time playing long survival runs. For that kind of veteran player, I'd say yes, it is an endgame that would appeal to you, but if you're looking for something with more structure, then this will start to feel repetitive real fast. The rewards in the Elite mode feel like they're in a good place, and I doubt veteran players will have any reason to play on the normal setting. Personally, I like this as an endgame alternative to Eidolon hunting. Where the hunts require more setup and structure, the Onslaught feels more of a hop in and play sort of endeavor. And taken as a whole, Warframe's endgame content is really starting to take shape. This mode also feels like it was designed for players to utilize every cheese strat they have at their disposal, and throw everything they've got at the enemies, and it feels fun. This is the best way Digital Extremes have found so far to make the overpowered players still feel overpowered, while still giving them a challenge fit for their skill level. And unlike the Eidolon hunts, this game mode doesn't rely on taking anything away from the player. You don't need to worry about damage immunity or hopping out of your frame to do operator stuff. You just fight as hard as you possibly can. The spawns are also incredibly high, so there are plenty of enemies to go around if you're in a group. You can probably tell, but I really like this update. But as I alluded to earlier, the launch of the new game mode is far from perfect. Currently there are some bugs, and I've experienced a couple crashes myself. They have already pushed some fixes, but you might want to wait until they smooth out the rough edges a bit more before playing the new content. One more thing I'd like to mention before I end this video. is that they decided to tie in Cephalon Samaris to the mode as the host of the Sanctuary Onslaught. This allows the more arbitrary game mechanics to make a lot more sense in-universe, and it's always fun seeing Samaris encourage you to blindly murder for him in the name of his research. I'm still farming the parts to build Korra, and I have the new weapons being researched and built as this video goes up. I would really like to make a video or something on those, but we will see. This update even added new Zaw parts, so I'm sure Warframe will manage to keep me busy for a little while. That being said, I don't plan on sticking to just Warframe. If anyone wants to help me steer this channel, then tell me what kind of content you'd like to see more of. Anyway, I think at this point I'm starting to ramble, so I'd like to thank you for watching. Tell me what you think of the new update, and if you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like, and subscribe if you're interested in seeing more. So, until my next video, I will talk to you again soon. See ya.